Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. It's debate day.
Round one, fight!
So the first person to answer gets to choose. The other person has to take the other option.
Okay. Another yes and no question. Okay.
Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Star Wars.
Do you guys understand the question?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's going first?
Mark has to choose. He yelled out first.
Don's going first.
Go.
Star Wars over Star Trek. Star Trek best known as a TV series. Star Wars best known as a movie series. Star Wars brought us such memorable characters. It is by far the largest fan base in moviedom out there. Way more than Trekkies. Although Trekkies say they're not, it's way, way more. They've made way more money in the movie theaters than they did in the Star Trek films, no matter which ones you look at. Star Trek has had multiple generations, but there's been decades and decades of Star Wars film. The top grossing movies of all time have been Star Trek. There are fandom sites out there that triple the amount of fandom sites that you have on Star Trek. By far. It's not even close to a debate. Star Trek has spun off different series.
Okay, so if you're looking at the Star Trek versus Star Wars universe as a whole, okay, so you have Star Wars is a very, very small portion of a universe. It's basically one story that keeps telling itself over and over again, where you have Star Trek actually, it was a TV series, and they've made a lot of money through advertising on the stations, but they have actual legitimate storylines that coincide with different world issues that we see today. And you have multi-generational. You have the original Star Trek, and then they were successful in a next generation, and then you've had spin-offs of that next generation. You've had, 3, 4, 5 different spin-offs. Now there's an animated series. You say that there's more Star Wars fans. I would argue that if you're a Star Wars fan, you're a Star Trek fan as well. You like sci-fi, you like the space thing, and you see all kinds of new technologies.
I would say Star Trek, as they tried to spin off, you have Enterprise, you have Voyager, you have Picard, none of them near as successful as Next Generation. They've been losing fans every year. Every time they bring out a new enumeration, they've been losing fans. Meanwhile, Star Wars still is outselling all the other films that year when they bring out a new film. People are divided over the movies, but they still love Star Wars. You don't see a Star Trek land coming up into Disney. You don't see people buying franchises of that. The number one toy in the world has been the Star Wars toys from all their movies. There is nothing even close to it. Fandom collects Star Wars over and over again. They do not collect Star Trek. You do not see as many decorative homes that are out there. There's a video game out there, I own it. It's Star Wars. It's not Star Trek. Star Wars is by far the most popular out there. And
Okay, there are several Star Trek games, just not on a video game format like this, like an arcade format. On the computer, absolutely there is, and it's a big franchise. You're not going to see Star Trek at Disney because it's owned by Paramount, but you do see Star Trek at Paramount theme parks, like Canada's Wonderland. You do have, yeah, absolutely you do. And I would also argue that people want to like the new Star Wars movies. They don't. They don't like it. But they're such fans of the original series that they keep giving it a shot because they want to like it. But I think they're also losing a lot of fans. How they almost lost you with the Last Jedi. All you do is rant about that. So I would argue that even though the spin-off series haven't been as popular as The Next Generation, you still have people tuning in to watch it every time they're on.
there's no Star Trek in
Yes, there is.
Canada's Wonderland.
Yes, there is. It's owned by Paramount. Paramount owns Canada's Wonderland.
Actually, Paramount doesn't own Canada's Wonderland anymore.
Well, when they did.
They went under.
When they did.
They can't even.
But that's why you're not going to see it at Disney.
They can't even use.
Disney doesn't own.
They can't even use the
Anyway,
that car
let's-
roller coaster.
Let's turn to
anymore.
the judge here.
Go for it.
Okay. So, wow. You guys brought up so many good points. So many. I wish there was another turn to rebut because I think both of you said things that could have been rebutted further. You went mostly based on financial gain and I guess fanaticism of individual fans.
And popularity.
You went towards the actual success of the franchise being over decades, and advertising revenue itself would dwarf the gross earnings of the Star Wars films probably over that amount of time. Wow.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of advertising.
I don't know because there's Star Wars TV too.
I didn't like.
No, there's been the Clone Wars. There's been lots of Star Wars out there.
I didn't like your point where people are getting disenfranchised with Star Wars and are getting turned off because Star Trek is having its own issues right now with Picard being a failure
However,
and the cartoon.
I brought that up. He did not.
Yeah, but your point was, I don't know, like a false point maybe?
No, it was a real point. People are becoming disenfranchised with
It's
this.
true. That's why I wanted you to have another turn to rebut because
You brought up that people are becoming disenfranchised, and I brought up the point that they're already disenfranchised with Star Trek. It's getting less and less popular every single year,
But
while
the-
people are still thriving on Star Wars.
mind you, the reason why people are getting so upset on both counts is because they love the franchises so much. So if they didn't care, they wouldn't complain so
If
much.
they catered to the fans more, then they would have all that love back.
You had a really good point with how
How many websites the last Star Trek movie? How many websites were there to debate how good the the Star Trek movie was?
I was praying that you weren't going to bring up the Mandalorian, and you didn't.
No, I didn't need it.
You should have.
you brought up a really good point where Star Trek is not limited to one story, and it encompasses a whole bunch of different stories. I'm going to call this one a tie again. This was a tie.
But I made so many better points.
No, but he made equally good points on his side. So
Asterix! Asterix on the side!
so we went from keep the streak alive to Mark is potentially on a roll.
Except, these aren't games. These are debates.
Yeah, but
So guess what? But the streak is still alive.
No.
The streak was because Mark never won anything.
This is true. I did say you were getting much better when the first debate and everything, so I did say that.
Okay, yeah, good performance this time.
Thank you.
Horrible questions.
I think
but
it's the
good
chair.
performance.
You were sitting in the wrong chair all along.
All the time. The whole time.
All right, well, there you go. This was really bad. And we're going to try this again. One more time after this. Paul and I are going to do heads to head. And why not check out some more of our other content down below? If you're wondering what we're talking about, keep the streak alive, check out all the games for the last year and a half, and you'll find out why. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great, that's my catchphrase. We'll see you on the channel.